Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Wednesday night Talking Town. I am your host, The Gov. This is the fan platform for fans, by fans, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys at home today. This could go horribly wrong in the next insert time because I have a really dodgy computer cable from the desktop to the monitor, and every time I move one of my legs, it cuts out for a period of time. Period of time can be 5 seconds. It can be 10 minutes, as poor Matthew Phillips found out earlier when we were recording the audio podcast for our Spotify and Apple listeners. So, yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't cut out. But if it does, and you get nobody on the screen, or you get Ben on the screen on his own, be gentle, be kind. Let's set a likes target before we get into the show. Let's go for 200 likes today. So hit the like button. If you're not yet subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button, and of course share this show to all your friends, whether they're Town fans or not. We welcome all manner of football fans here, whether they're Stoke, QPR, Norwich, hold up, not that one, Huddersfield, whoever they might be, they're all welcome here to learn about the world's greatest football team. Here we go. Gov's dodgy cable absolutely is my dodgy cable. Smash the like button, says Cruncher. We are going to I think he means kick him QPR. 80 great show. Evening, everyone. Well done to the Lionesses. Absolutely well done to the Lionesses. Right, before we go any further, I would like to have a special message from me. Now, everyone at home, if you can and if you want to, please do support the platform by becoming a fifth stander today. Fifth standers are the backbone of the ITFC Fan platform. They allow us to purchase new equipment, create content for everyone to enjoy, and support me as a content creator in planning and pushing further and further ahead, having the ability to try new things that take the platform further and allow me to build on the success after success. Do you know, in day one, only a couple of years ago, we had 293 viewers for our flagship podcast. Today, we have had over 2,500 views on the latest flagship podcast. Phenomenal growth, phenomenal support, phenomenal encouragement. And for that, I can't thank you all enough, but particularly a huge thank you to the Talking Town fifth standers, the backbone that has created this, that has allowed it to flourish, allowed it to grow. Now, I'm working behind the scenes on creating more content. That's right, more content that is just for you, the fifth standers. However, for now, a perk of being a fifth stander is getting access to our Discord server where you can talk about all types of things, but in particular, our most wonderful football club 24/7, 365 with contributors and other Talking Town community members creating a good, positive debate with some differing opinions. And there is some really good debate on there. So if you want access to any potential bonus content, please scan the QR code on the screen right now. That takes you to our Kofi page, or head to our main page on YouTube and click the join button. Links are in the chat or in our description if you're watching on catch up. Multiple options are available, starting with just $4.99 a month, which I personally think is absolutely epic value for the content created. And I just hope you all agree at home. All options are in your control in terms of cancelling at any time should you wish to. So please become a Talking Town fifth stander today. Right, back to the content, back to the show, back to me. Thanks, me. Right, I have just seen a tweet that says John Nolan now plays non-league Step 3 football for Macclesfield Town. I did not know that. Did anyone at home know that? Let us know. We have Clive joining us. Well, I joined him last night because QPR are currently playing. We'll keep an eye on that. They're playing our nearest and dearest friends up the road in Norwich City. So I'll keep an eye on that. That's in Carabao Cup action. But we had Clive joining us from Loft for Words or Loft on Words. I always get that one confused. Apologies, Clive. But joining me this evening is none other than the Milk Tray Man, Ben Adams. Ben, welcome in, my man. How are you?
Really well, thanks, Guff. Really good. Hoping your cable sort of lasts the show because the idea of just having me on the screen, your subscribers don't pay good money in time for that.
No, well, it's Loft for Words, by the way, but yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping it lasts. I'm just sort of not really touching the desk, the cables. I'm sort of just trying to sort of hang right back. But John Nolan now plays for non-league Macclesfield Town. It seems like yesterday he was in our midfield.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. You hear old names crop up. You think, bloody hell! Bit like Norwood going to was it Oldham? Was it
Oldham? I think. Yeah.
You're thinking, crikeys, and you think these were good players who could do a job in the league. Certainly, I would even argue up to League One. But always interesting to see where players go, isn't it?
It really is. And talking of players, let's get to some current players. Burns and Woolfenden are in the team of the week this week. Now we spoke at length on Sunday's show in regards about Woolfenden, how outstanding he was. So I kind of want to give a bit of love to Wes Burns tonight. Talk to me about Wes Burns' performance from your bit on Saturday. I'll put the stats on the screen. He got an 8.4 from SofaScore, 90 minutes played, 42 touches, 78% accurate passes, 5 key passes, 1 big chance created, that chance that got him the assist for the goal to Caden Jackson. How did you see the Welsh Wizards' performance?
He was excellent, and I think there was always this kind of, I know it's been brought up on the pod before, there's this kind of question of, can he make the step up? He was brilliant in League One, absolutely phenomenal, but I always think there's a little bit more to come from him. But he's kind of taken to the Championship at the moment in his stride. 78% accurate passing, that is fantastic for essentially a winger player. 5 key passes, 1 big chance created. You only need 1 if someone's going to slot it in. And he's consistent, he's fit, and what I like is, despite the fact it's a different kind of football, he still seems to be brave, and as many times as I think as he kind of attacks their left back, and a lot of the times it doesn't happen, the ball will be tackled out. I love a player that always kind of still tries to do that, so he certainly hasn't lost his confidence, and he looks like he's going to be very I think he's going to have a very rich season. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And Conor Chaplin's been nominated for the player of the year award in League One level. Now we've spoken at length on the platform about Conor Chaplin, how great he was last year. How have you viewed his first 2 performances in the Championship? I'm going to put his stats on the screen from the Stoke game. For me, he's getting closer and closer. Obviously, he got mighty close against Sunderland, where he smashed the crossbar. But he just needs a goal to get himself up and running, because he's playing with such confidence. I totally agree with you. And he's still doing so well in the league above. That beautiful lob he done that hit the crossbar. That's the move of a player who is just in his absolute. He's in flow state. He does need 100%. That goal to get him going, as all players do. Every level, even Haaland will need a goal to get him going at some point. He'll probably get it in the first 2 games. So at every level, his quality is there to see. The bravery is there to see, and you can see certainly Stoke did it, and Sunderland to a certain degree. Look at the players that stick to him as soon as Conor has the ball. There's always 2 players flying into him, so there's a lot of kind of respect given to him, I think, by the kind of the game plan of the opposing managers. But I can almost bet my mortgage on it. I don't think he's going to be getting 26, 27 goals this year. But if he can get something like 15 goals in the Championship, I mean, people pay a lot of money for something like that, and I think he just needs that 1 goal, and I think he'll be flying, because what's around him is also brilliant. And again, it's about confidence. And I would say that first 20 minutes of Sunderland, I know it's been said on the pod before, I know Matt was talking about, making great points, but that first 20 minutes of Sunderland, I'm thinking, oh shit, it's not there. They're a bit scared of this. Actually, they're a bit like us. They're a bit, oh, what the hell are we doing here? But actually, the whole team has kind of almost re-gelled itself, and they're riding on the crest of a wave. I mean, 3 wins in the week in any league at any level is a great week in football. But you want to look at it one way. We are 1 place away from the Premier League. Our bike with 44 games to go. Absolutely, well, it's in our hands. 44 cup finals, it's in our hands.
Well,
we are 2 points up. Being Frank on Ipswich says Conor Chaplin's passing has improved this season, but it's still a bit wayward. I think that's the style of player he is, though. Like he takes that risk. His final ball is always that risk ball where it could come off, it looks really good, or it gets cut out. So that's risky the style.
Risky players have as much go wrong for them as right for them. We remember 100%. The right, we forget the wrong, because the right overwrites the wrong. A safe player for me is someone like Evans, who can't even get in the squad at the moment. He's a safe player. He doesn't do anything too risky. He's pretty consistent. But do you know what? Players, he's not getting in the squad. So I think Kieran's saying, you know, be brave. Things will go wrong for you, but you have to put yourself in a position for things to go wrong, I think. Or not go wrong, that's probably a way of saying it, but not to quite come off the way you planned them to. But sure. Again, his attitude, you watch the running he does off the ball. And you know, this is something I look at for every player, what they do off the ball, where he runs to, his running back into the midfield, a defensive way. He runs back, he was back in the left wing for points the other. I love him. And he's fit. And as you say, what's your great saying, Martin? You know, the best
ability is availability.
And he's just fit. I love fit players who are good. They're such a bloody rare combo.
Yeah, it really is. I just want to run through his stats again, just for those that perhaps that missed it. Conor got a 7.5 from SofaScore, 83 minutes played, 53 touches, 70% accurate passes, 1 key pass, 5 shots blocked, 1 on target, 0 assist, possession loss 15. I thought he played tremendously well and just needs a goal to get himself up and running in the championship and keep that confidence absolutely flying high. You mentioned Wes there earlier, having a great season.
Yeah.
Obviously, Conor. Got a comment from Frank there saying in regards to Carl Edwards, who we believe is on the way out in terms of a transfer.
I kind of said this last year, the back end of it. Carl Edwards is a great, exciting young prospect who seems like a lovely young man with a great attitude. But the way he plays, Kieran doesn't trust him. I said this with 15 games to go last season. Great at 83 minutes when you need something a bit flary, he needs to just liven it up. Kieran doesn't trust him. And it's a shame because he's a lovely man, and not trust him as a character. I just think his way of playing and the way he reads the game, I don't think you slot a player like that in there to follow a specific game plan. He's too wildcardy. That can be a virtue depending on the type of game the manager plans. Some managers have room for a wild card, but some don't. And I don't think Kieran does. The players that play every week are the players that he trusts, so they are consistent in their role. And I love Edwards, and I was sad to hear that he's looking for another team. As a fan, I really like watching him. But I'm wondering from a manager's perspective, it's like he's a good young man, but I just think he needs to learn the discipline of a game plan and not be so kind of, do it off of his own back. Like anything in life, it's a balance between doing what you're told and then doing what you feel is right in the moment. So shame, because I love the guy. I think he's brilliant, and I'm going to miss him.
Yeah, I really like him. Lee says, I feel we have the best attacking midfield in the division as a whole. Max Fax hasn't done anything wrong, just well behind Broadhead, wants to start fair to all. David, I really hope we beat QPR on Saturday. Was it Loftus Road the last time we played there? It was a miserable day. John Nolan is most insipid. Grant Ward carried off with an ACL injury. Terrible. I was talking about Carl Edwards there, Conor Chaplin, Wes Burns. Look, without speculating, because that's a red card offence these days. Lack of transfer business. After the start we've had, are you concerned if this was the squad with no new additions when the window slams shut in a couple of weeks?
Yes, I would be. Yes.
Or are you comfortable with the squad?
No, I'm not comfortable. And this is a very different league. We are riding on the crest of waves and momentum. But like any wave and all momentum, eventually it stops. And that's when you need the quality and depth. Now, I'm funny enough, I was thinking about it today, thinking about the last time where we were on a roll and we didn't strengthen. And that was in the, that was with, what was it? Was it McCarthy? No, was it McCarthy? We got to a January transfer window and we didn't strengthen. Who was that with?
That was with McCarthy. We were talking at the table.
It was McCarthy.
We brought Sears in, which, no disrespect to Sears,
wasn't a needle mover. Really made the difference there, and it didn't. And the squad was quality, but you need more. I just don't think we've got a real true taste of what the championship is like yet. After 15 games, going to be thinking, we need to strengthen here and here, and they don't need to be squad players. They need to be instant. I think. Crunch was saying it. They need to be ready to drop into the first team and pay money for it. Obviously, businesses.
They need to push the current 11, don't they? They need to be really players that have got
in every single position. I totally agree. And even pushing your Wolf. I'm going to mention Woolfenden in a minute because that guy for me it should be the fucking Woolfenden show. But pushing Woolfenden should be pushing Chaplin, should be pushing Broadhead. Because there's nothing that kills momentum like safety. And if you think you're safe in your position, You need to be on your toes. And these other 44 games are going to come at us like a fucking freight train. And it's great 2 games in. I'm interested in 15 games in. My gut is that we need to strengthen. I think there's been disappointment about the lack of transfer because he kind of let slip a couple of weeks ago. We've got 2 or 3 incoming. They're imminent. And
that was
nothing.
the Innsbruck Cup, wasn't it, when he said that?
Yes.
So that was
exactly.
Yeah,
so
nothing
thinking,
since then.
Yes. So yes, we do need to strengthen. There's, for Christ's sakes, Man City want to strengthen. Barcelona want to strengthen. Liverpool want to strengthen. Every team needs to strengthen. Always looking to improve, but that is the signals that it's coming out of Portman Road. They both say it, Ashton and McKenna. We're always relentless. We're always striving. We're always looking. But I think now that rather being a big fish in a small pond, we're maybe a medium-sized fish in a gigantic pond, and we are not quite a star attraction of the league that we were last year. So it's going to be harder.
And you might have to pay a little bit more, which is a bit of a premium. And I just, the closer we get to the end of the window. I mean this with no disrespect to any of these players. The closer you get to Ghassan Hadmi and Kamara territory of transfer, where now both players are out on loan, both players didn't feature heavily for Town, and you almost me on Christmas Eve shopping like. Oh no! Is it Christmas Day tomorrow? Oh no! Quick, get down to the shops and you're at Esso buying a trade barbecue.
Exactly that.
Do you know what I mean?
But I agree. Look, we've got resources. We've got a great team. This is not a moan. It's just things are great. How do they stay great? This is not a things are not good. They need to improve. So it's more from that kind of perspective.
Woody Wood has just subscribed. Appreciate that, Woody Wood. Thanks ever so much, my man. I can buy the cable now. I ain't got to worry, Ben. After tomorrow, I can move these feet. I'm literally on tiptoes here, and I daren't move. In a minute, I'm going to be in pain. Big pain. Bluey says, how could he stay around the team? Oh, in the evening, all evening. Bluey. Benjamin winning a striker and a winger and a defender. Lyndon gets some injuries and suspensions, and we suddenly look thin on the ground. That's my only worry. Championship is a long, hard season. We've got Benjamin saying Tunzabi, yes, please. Raksaki, yes, please. And John Jules, maybe.
John Jules, I don't quite understand the love everyone has. Clearly, he's a good player, but I just don't get it. He was good, and he looked good. He looked, he's good, and he got, obviously he got an injury. I mean, I just don't think we saw him long enough to get the hype. I just think there's a kind of a comfort in familiarity with him. He's been here before. He looked good last time. Let's take a chance again. I think we've moved beyond him. I don't get it myself. He's a good player, clearly, but if he played 30 games, and in 27 of them he was an 8 out of 10, fair enough. You do everything you can to buy him, but he wasn't that for me. I don't know. It's a bit of a coin toss for me. If you've truly got the budget and the power we have, there's more out there. Right.
Yeah, I agree totally. Before we come on to your ITFC baby of the week, which is obviously Luke Woolfenden by the sounds of it, Lee asks, evening all, how's the family been?
Really well, thank you, Lee. Yeah, really, really good. He was a little while ago, Ellis was quite really ill, but a bit of a hospital stay. We missed out on the family holiday because of it, unfortunately, but you don't care when your child's ill. But he's in perfect health now, babbling away earlier. Looks like he's really filling out his Ipswich Town kit. Thinking, holy shit, this boy's getting big and he's getting more expensive to feed. I mean, my God, it's relentless, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, I was there at Stoke, and I'm thinking, I cannot wait what it must be for a dad to kind of introduce his son or daughter to their first football game. I can't wait for that day, just to walk down Portman Road with him. Yeah, we're in the playoffs, we're top of whatever league we're in, and it's like, oh, this is welcome to our church, But all well, thank you, Lee. All well.
Good man. Talking of all well, 5-star performance at the weekend. Luke Woolfenden, here are his stats on the screen from SofaScore. 90 minutes, 7 clearances, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, 3 out of 3 ground duels, 1, 10 aerial duels, 76% passing accurate rating. Ben, now's your chance. Speak about Mr. Luke Woolfenden.
He is turning into the player that we all hoped he would be, and I'll say a bit like Jackson, who he gets a lot of shit, and for me included, and a lot of the time I think justifiably so. If Jackson had come to adversity, Woolfenden's had to do the same. There was points where he didn't want to, as well documented, he didn't want to come into work. He was out the team. He's gone through manager. There's a reason, a bit like Chambers. If there was ever questions about him, I always thought, but manager after manager after manager are keeping him and playing him. And he's gone through a few managers of Woolfenden, and I think he's 26 now, I think, and he is turning into the player he was born to be. He is confident, he is intelligent, the communication of the people around him is wonderful. He commands that box. He's calm, he's decisive, he's brave. I love that in Woolfenden, and even thinking to a couple of years ago, I'm thinking, God, it's in him. You can see it; it's there. But he has had really great coaching, and you can see it in his game. You can see it in his positioning. You can see it how he aligns himself with his back four. You can see it when he's driving forward. I mean, that's just good coaching. He has found a manager to make him who he was born to be, and I love it. He was my man of the match. I think Cruncher said it actually as well. I've sent you a video on Saturday. Obviously, it didn't format right. Cruncher said it correctly. A lot of people gave Morsey man of the match, and Morsey was fantastic, but Woolfenden, he was immense that game. And I mean, he was a fucking brick wall, and he was fantastic. And I this could be the season that makes him. I really think that.
Yeah, absolutely. And he got the live match reactions. Man of the match as well, and he was definitely my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. When Stoke brought Wesley on, I really thought this would be a different test to the one we've seen from Wolfie before. And I'm going to be honest, the physicality of the player, Wolfie, that is something we've often questioned on the platform, but he stood up big time. He stood up.
But he stood up not because I think of his physical presence, but his intelligence of positioning. Look at where he
reading the game.
And I would say, watch when the ball is with Morsey, or it's with Burns, or it's with Chaplin, or it's with Broadhead. Watch what Wolfie is doing, and he's so aware of what's around him.
Correct.
And he's constantly repositioning, repositioning, talking. Captain material for me. Not over Morsey, because we have a great captain, but that's future captain material, because he's been doing that in his career, and you love to see it.
Yeah. You absolutely love to see it. Now, before we go on to QPR, a question has come in, or a comment has come in from LG, where they want your opinion on it, and they want the wider community's opinions. Whether you're watching on live or on catch up, do put a comment in regards to this. LG says, I'd like to discuss Mark Ashton, and this is the home of the fans, for fans, by fans, unfiltered, uncensored opinions. If you've got something to say about your football club, this is the platform at its best here. LG says, I'd like to discuss Mark Ashton, which wasn't on our talking sheet at all, Ben. Everyone holds him in such high regard, but he's seriously messed up, in LG's words, for arguably the first time. No new signings. Why isn't this being called out? Before you come to that, we've got a couple of comments doing process. Missing out on transfers might not be MA's fault if the player changes their mind. MA has done everything he said he was going to do. Benjamin, Mark Ashton ain't messed up anything, in my opinion. I think it's just about finding the right player rather than signing anyone for the sake of it, like we used to. Cruncher agrees with LG. We've got Kieran McKenna won't just take anyone anymore from Benjamin. They either have to have lots of experience with still plenty to give, or young and hungry and energetic. I would say, as I said in the chat to LG, it's very hard to call him out in LG's words. I think that's what LG used, the words call out. Because, why isn't it being called out? The window's not shut yet. Like, I can't sit here and say on the platform, this is an F window, for argument's sake, when he could go out and tomorrow and sign Lionel Messi. He ain't going to, of course, but then you're going to get it clipped up. You're going to look stupid. So you have to hold that comment, from my perspective, back until the end of the window. But what do you think, Ben, as the contributor?
I'm in two minds of that comment. I understand it, because you're saying, what does relentless mean? You can't keep dropping that word and then have a transfer window. There is movement happening now. Usually happens from the top down. You have that first £100 million signing, then everyone else shifts and it falls all the way down the leagues.
Correct.
But also, we're not in the place where we're scraping shit from the bottom of the toilet like we have been the last 6-7 years. on the last day we kind of parachute in anyone with a pair of studs on the bottom of their shoes.
Beautiful analogy.
But we're not there. You kind of mentioned it yourself that, well, okay, not Kamara, so maybe that's a bit unfair. But I think there's two
rushed
things
signings, perhaps.
There's ability and there's attitude, and I would argue that it's attitude as much as ability that is the reason that we are good as we are. I wouldn't say he's messed up because it's still time, but I would like to have seen some movement. And I think if you're relentless, then you have to be relentless. Whatever it is to get the player you want, you have to do it. However, we're not there yet. Let's revisit that comment in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Great comment. On to QPR. QPR are playing right now against Norwich in the Carabao Cup.
Still 0-0. But Norwich are, what is it, 66%? Norwich 34%. Norwich have had 3 shots. QPR have 3 shots. So, a bit of a tight game.
So.
0-0. Yeah.
0-0 at the moment. I sat down with Clive from Loft for Words podcast. We'll hear from him as we end the show. So far, they've played 3, 1-2, including 1 cup game, 1 defeat, which is the opening day defeat to Watford 4-0. Now, the last time we played QPR, Ben, was Boxing Day 2018. We lost 3-0, and this was our team. Gherkin, Spence, Chambers, Pennington, Knudsen, Shalabar, Downs, Ward, Nolan, Sears, and Harrison. Very much a different time, right?
Who's Harrison?
Ellis Harrison.
Oh, Ellis Harrison. That's Ellis. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course. Jesus Christ, we've come such a long way, haven't we? We have come such a long way. I love our life now. Look at us.
Look at us. I know. Discussing great players like that. And that was our 11. Got beat 3-0 Boxing Day. But it is very much a different time now for both clubs, because QPR, as you'll hear with Clive, they're in their own sort of transition, a little bit of FFP. And we're coming into it, this momentum with wave, the surge. Are you confident heading into it? Or could it be more of a trap game? They've only won something like 1 in 15 at Loftus Road of QPR. But they've recently beaten Cardiff, who looks fairly decent opening day.
They're a good team, good squad. Yeah.
Could it be a trap game?
Do you know what I was thinking as I was sitting there at Stoke? The beautiful thing about what I'm laughing about football is I have no fucking idea how it's going to go. You think you know how it's going to go in League One. I don't know how it's going to go at QPR. Part of me thinks they're an established League One team. Put in a Championship team. Put in Dizelle against Morsey. I think Dizelle is going to be kind of used as a tampon. Personally, I just think he's going to get absolutely destroyed in midfield. But I am really confident right now, and it is based on the momentum. They are in transition. I wouldn't hold them as one of the great teams of the Championship, but the Ipswich way is QPR can have an off day and beat us. I mean, you just don't know in this league. No. But I'm kind of loving the fact that it's really hard to answer that question because every game is what the hell is in store for us today? I have no idea. If I was to do I'm not sure if you're doing a prediction score now or later.
Not yet. A bit later on.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll come to it. I feel confident. I think I trust the team, but like all of us, I trust McKenna more.
Okay, perfect. Right, this is my expected team for the weekend. As you would expect, I have gone unchanged. I have gone Haladki, Danassi, Woolfenden, Burgess, Davis, Morsey, Luongo. That's right. The Gov has finally stopped putting Jack Taylor in his team, which means he's going to play Saturday. Burns, Chaplin, Broadhead, and Hurst. Would you have made any changes from Stoke, Ben?
Absolutely not. There's I mean, the only one I'm a bit kind of Danassi, I love, and he's been great. But I get the sense he's operating at the height of his powers. Like he is at the height of his abilities every game, and I just think it would take a very good Championship kind of centre forward, left forward to beat him. But we don't really have the alternative is injured. So he's doing a good job, and I love him. I wouldn't change any of it. I think all of it is good. You don't change things that are working. I am pleased that we had who come on, Jackson, and remind me.
Marcus Harness, come on.
Harness. So I'm really pleased that we could drop Harness in there, and who seems to be having an incredible season. He's the only person I could kind of swap out. But then again, who do you swap him out for? Chaplin, Burns, Broadhead. All 3 of them were fucking immense. I wouldn't touch Luongo and Morsey. And the back 4 been absolutely superb. So I can't argue it. The only one you could probably argue is Hurst. and you can see he will get 1 or 2 chances every game this season, and there'll be a 50-50 chance whether he puts them away or not. It's the only person I'm a bit kind of like, could you put Ladapo in there? Is that possible? Could it maybe Ladapo sort of plays back a bit and they sort of go up as a 2 or 3 going forward? Maybe, but Hurst has scored a goal, but we know that Ladapo has it in him, and the big question mark is, can he step up to the Championship? So who knows? But that's it. If I saw that on Saturday at 2:01, yeah, I'm happy at that.
Okay. Talking to Nathan Broadhead now, I love to share the love here and make sure everyone gets their love on social media. And I gave Rich a tweet, which has kind of, I wouldn't say gone viral, but it's gone, I think over the 100 like mark. So you can
what have you done
later, Rich. But Nathan Broadhead, right?
Yeah.
Nathan Broadhead is now has 16 direct goal contributions, 9 goals, 7 assists in just 22 games for Ipswich Town. That's, I called him the needle mover when he arrived. That truly is moving the needle, right? That is phenomenal.
Yeah. He was. Remember when I said before Christmas, I said, we ain't going to do anything in this league. We haven't got the metal. We need to go out and buy it. And they just went out and done exactly that. And that's what I'm talking about, the signings. Ready-made, first-team players who would supplant anyone we already have. And Broadhead, it came in January and was that thing. He is brilliant. He is wonderful. He is a Championship player to his bones. I think we're lucky to have him. We were lucky to have him last year because we're in League One, but he is just in his element. His ability level is exactly matched to where he is. And if you're going to sign more players, they have to be as good as him, if not better, because that's an example of buying someone ready-made rather than trying to get someone because time's running out. So that's why it's vital with this transfer window. But who doesn't love Broadhead? Jesus Christ! Even his hair's awesome.
Yes, yeah.
Unlike Hurst, by the way, he gets sort of cut like a mushroom. But I can't work out Hurst whether it's like he's got a hairline that's so low that he has no fringe, or he kind of grows it forward and kind of bunches it. It's the strangest haircut I've ever seen. But hey, bang in the goal to have any haircut you want.
Like, it's no Heladke's haircut. Like, as a man that
he's a good-looking guy, so Heladke.
People are going to laugh at home, but as a man that likes to believe his hair is pretty good, Heladke's hair is something I aspire to achieve. We all phenomenal.
People going by hair transplants to look like that. God knows I'm going to need one in the coming years. But that's some aesthetic, man. That is, and he's got beautiful feet as well.
Well, yeah, but all through the Sunderland game, I just kept saying to the wife, I just love his hair, from one hair lover to another. I just love his hair. And she kept saying, it's much longer than yours. I was like, yeah, but I want to get to that point where you can just get the comb, the hair. Yeah. Anyway, 6,500 subscribers by Derby week, and Gov wears a Norwich shirt. Correct. All week of the Derby week. Oof. And Cruncher buys a pair of tickets for a fan giveaway. I tell you what, if you'd rather I didn't wear the Norwich shirt, I won't, because I'm more than happy not to. Believe me. But Cruncher buys a pair of tickets for a fan giveaway. So get involved. Hit that subscribe button. Ian Lamb, our current midfielder, better than Dazelle, unless he's come on leaps and bounds. Despite his historic connections to the club, he was really not a loss.
Yeah, I spoke to a few QPR fans. They're not overly enamoured.
Well, Clive,
he said he's all right. He's not special. So
we'll see. Clive from the podcast Loft for Words, he did have a couple of things to say in regards to perhaps Dazelle starting in midfield. So something to keep an eye on there, or listen out for, shall we say, is Loft for Words. I have to keep making sure I've got it right. I want to keep saying Loft on Words, but it's Loft for Words. Yeah, not good. We've got. What else have we got? Scarlett is a good player. Heladke loves a can of hairspray. Nothing wrong with the hairspray. Just need to get it to a decent length. Right, my score prediction for the weekend. And I've asked, every week, I'm asking a contributor for their score prediction. You featured, I believe, in week 1, Ben.
Yeah.
This week, I've asked the Cruncher, and he has gone for a 3-1 Town win. I have gone for a 1-1 because I think it's a trap game. And I'm not the most confident I've ever been. Don't know why, but Gareth Ainsworth, Wickham.
You feel something in your bones.
I do. I hope I'm wrong.
You feel it.
I'm wrong. Yeah, it's probably just fear, because I think Gareth Ainsworth at Wickham was probably one of the teams that we sort of always consistently.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
sort of battled against, whether it be their style, the matchups, whatever. Are either of us here correct, or have you got one you want to bring to the pie?
It's interesting because on the Stoke game, Rich said 1-1. It was a bit more cautious, and I think like a lot of us, we're kind of almost tentatively dropping that caution. I would go for a win. I really feel it. I think whatever momentum we're on hasn't run out yet, so I'm gonna go. I can see Dazelle getting absolutely destroyed. I'm going to say 2-0. I don't think we're going to concede. The way we set up our back four and the way they come forward as in it, I just can't see it. And they're a footballing side, and we tend to do better against footballing sides. In the past, they've been a bit bruisey and battly, but they're not really that anymore. They don't try to be anyway. 2-0.
2-0. Okay. 2-2 says the Stone legend. 1-1 says Benjamin. Parry's going 2-1 Town. Phil's going 3-1 Town. Max is going 2-0 Town. Procrastinating Wombles come with a double entendre. Who does not love Broadhead? That's a double entendre. Sorry, couldn't resist. I don't quite get it myself, but there we go.
Whatever way it comes.
Right, Hearts.
Another
Yeah. Heart 3-1 Town 2. Oh, you've both lost me. I'm too naive and innocent for this. Yeah. 3,000 on the way down. Gov won't be there. No, I certainly won't. But we'll be doing the live match reaction show on Saturday afternoon. So do join us whether you're there or not. And then I'm going to go to a stag do. Yeah, 3-0, 3-0. Right. Before we hear from Clive from the QPR podcast, we've got our resident weekly end of the show game, Bridge of Lies. Ben, you have to get from one side to the other.
Okay.
This is I have played 4, which means they're.
Oh, I'm shit at games like this.
Well, don't worry.
I'm like a child.
Crunch got 3 points. Matt got 4. You're our third contestant. Do not worry, because I will make them harder as we sort of go. But on each line, there is 1 truth and 2 lies. Unless there's 2, and then there's 1 truth and 1 lie. So, starting with the goalkeepers, you've got Begovic and Slicker.
Yeah. What one of those? Okay.
Have played 4. Which one of those is correct? Has Asmir Begovic played for Stoke? Has Kieran Slicker played for Port Vale?
I don't think Slicker's gone out on loan yet. I'm going to say Begovic Stoke. There you go.
Correct.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
There you go. You're off and running. Then you've got Jonas Knudsen. You remember him? Left back. Mad Dog, they called him.
Good thrower of the ball.
Absolutely. Not that we ever did anything with it, but yeah.
Well, good no, he could throw it far. Yeah.
He could. Not that they ever trained on it, but yeah. Rosenborg BK, has he played for them? Matt Elliott, one-time loanee at Town. Oxford, Liam Rosinia, Bristol Rovers.
I'm going to go Elliott Oxford.
Are you sure?
No, Rosinia Bristol Rovers.
No. Don't let me put you off.
I'm going to go Elliott Oxford, maybe. I don't know.
Boom. 2 points.
Really?
2 points. Into the midfield, we have got Tom Lawrence, Rotherham. Sixto Peralta and his magical gloves. AC Milan.
God, he was good, wasn't he?
He was some player,
he was
wasn't
good. What a fucking player he was.
Do you think if we'd stayed up, we'd have managed to keep hold of him? It was a loan spell, wasn't it?
100%. I do. Yeah, I do. He's a wonderful player. Just he's such a one of those players. Such a short amount of time, it just leaves such an impression. You know, a bit like he's like a South American player. I can't remember his name.
Giovanni Dos Santos.
Yeah, Giovanni Dos Santos. That's it. Yeah, that's the one. I'm gonna say. I don't think he played for Rotherham. I'm gonna go Peralta, AC Milan.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. Tom Lawrence did in fact play for Rotherham, according to Wikipedia, on loan. 6 games, 1 goal. You came close to equaling the Crunchers score. That's a fairly respectable score. Because I know what's
the prize if I'd have got them all.
Oh, there's no prize. We don't do prizes here.
What?
There's no budget. We need at least 10 more monthly subscribers to at least think about a prize. Let's be fair. Just for fun, Colback, Notts County, the Badger, Ballant West Ham, or Darren Curry, Watford.
I would have gone. Bay and Badger didn't come from West Ham. Curry, Watford.
Curry and Watford?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm afraid the Badger did. actually have a loan spell at West Ham.
Do you really?
According to Wikipedia.
Jesus.
No games played.
Oh,
but
Wikipedia's
apparently
bullshit. Anyone could
he
have written
was
that.
there. Whether that's true or not,
I bet you wrote that on
I
Wikipedia.
didn't touch Wikipedia. I wouldn't dare. Let us know at home how many you got at home. But there we go. That is Bridge of Lies. Well played.
Awesome.
Ben, that was good fun. I like that. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Now, I sat down with Clive from Loft for Words. I think it's Loft for Words or Loft on Words at the QPR podcast to get the lowdown on QPR. But we won't be back after that. This is to end the show. So that man there is the Milk Train man, Ben Adams.
Good to see you all again, guys. Good to be back.
Hit the like. And we'll see you Friday night for Club 1831 with Love with Care. Loft for Words, a QPR podcast ahead of this weekend's match against QPR at Loftus Road. And Clive, a mixed bag to start. Opening day disaster. Last weekend beat Cardiff. Carabao Cup win in between that. How has life been at QPR for so far this year?
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very difficult season. I think we knew that coming in. The FFP situation we're in has put us up against the wall, really. Opening day at Watford was pretty much everything we expected and more. The team and the squad just looks miles and miles short of where it needs to be to compete at this level. And there's all sorts of question marks and doubts about Gareth Ainsworth's style and whether it suits the players. Obviously, anyone that watched Wickham will know all about that.
Yeah.
Go to Watford and you're 4-0 down at halftime on the opening day. Literally every season preview had QPR to be dead last in the league. So, you know, it's kind of par for the course. And we then went to Cardiff on Saturday, travelling not even in hope, really, just absolute trepidation about what that might hold for us, because I watched Cardiff at Leeds on the first day and thought they were quite decent.
Likewise.
And yeah, we just completely changed shape, style, just everything about us. It was like watching a completely different team. He put Sinclair Armstrong in from the start up front, made a huge difference. Paul Smith basically played right back and right wing, depending on whether we had the ball or not. And it was just really, really effective. I don't know if Cardiff took us a little bit lightly. I think it would probably bust everybody's coupon winning there. Yeah, me too. So I don't know whether they took us a bit lightly or thought it was going to be easy or whatever. You can forgive them that if they'd watched videos of us. But yeah, we played really, really well for a good sort of 60, 70 minutes. Fell in a little bit of a hole at the end, but saw the result through. So yeah, quite out of the blue and much needed. It'll calm everybody down. There's a lot of sort of dissent and anger and misery. I can't ever remember going into a season with the QPR support base being as down and miserable as it is at the minute. So very valuable for a lot of reasons, that victory, and we'll see where it takes us, I guess. I
remember saying on our own season preview that QPR were in I'd call it a transition under Ainsworth, and that due to the FFP you've mentioned and the rollover, the turnover, that QPR fans might have to be patient and might have to almost sort of take the medicine, as it were. Then opening day happens, and you think, well, are they going to be able to take that? Because that has been a big significant factor, isn't it, at QPR? There is a transition going on, and it is a case of, is it a case of trusting Ainsworth to bring the best out of the group that he's got?
It's going to, and there's going to be more departures. Where are we now? August the 15th. I mean, the situation is we overspent. We lost 25 million quid a couple of seasons ago trying and failing to get promoted under Mark Warburton. That remains in our 3-year FFP cycle.
Ouch.
The 20 million pound sale of Abire Eze that paid for that has rolled out. So this season we've either got to sell another Eze, and there just isn't another Eze, or reduce our losses down by about 20 million quid, which is very difficult to do without torching your entire team. So you've seen people like Rob Dickey and Seni Dieng sort of offloaded for very little money, really, just to get some money in and get their wages off the books. I think you'll probably see the same with Chris Willock in the next couple of weeks. Ilias Chair's the hope for a bigger sale, if you like, and we might actually get some serious money for him. He's still got time on his contract. He's a very good player. But I think there'll be more departures. But all these departures are just covering that headroom problem. They're not financing signings. So Gareth's trying to change the culture because, Like the culture at QPR has been rotten for a couple of years. We've been losing very consistently under 4 managers for 18 months now. This isn't a recent thing. We lost nearly 40 of our last 70 games or something ridiculous like that. It's
wow.
37 out of 65 or something ridiculous.
I think
we've only won like 15 or 16 of the others. So it's been going on a long time. So Gareth's trying to switch that culture and change it. And obviously at Wickham, the culture and the team spirit in the dressing room is what he was all about. But he's having to do that without being able to bring any players in.
Yeah.
So you're seeing us do things like Jack Colback, free transfer, Steve Cook, nominal fee, like mid-30s players that I think he's hoping are going to come in and be his bedrock. But, ideally with stopgaps like that, you would only be giving them a 1-year contract. But to persuade them to come, we're having to commit to 2- and 3-year contracts for sort of mid-30s players, which is then spending the headroom for next season and beyond on your stopgap. So it's not ideal for him. It's really, really difficult. We missed out on a lot of players over the summer that we wanted because the headroom isn't there until we sell probably Chair. So it's really, really difficult. He's trying to make loads and loads of changes, but he just doesn't. There is zero budget to do it with. So yeah, I don't envy him. He's always wanted this job. He spent 10 years coveting this job. For him to get it now, I feel sorry for him, and you can sort of see it in his face. It's he's been QPR'd, as we say.
QPR, and obviously that infamous video. I can't sort of not mention it. Your thoughts on that video? Are
we talking about the hacker?
We are. Yes.
I think there's been a hacker up there. Yeah, the hackers will continue until morale improves and all of this. Yeah, and the only thing I would say is it went viral after we lost 6-1 to Blackpool. And obviously we look like dicks because of that. But it had been on the club website for a couple of weeks before that.
Oh, really?
We did actually win the next game against Watford. It was the only one we did win. So
a short-term success. And then
I mean, what he's trying to do there is he inherited a team last year. Last summer, we got Mick Beale in, who gave it all the chat. And we let Mick Beale bring all of his boys in, basically abandoned, our previous plan and director of football and everything. And Mick Beale was allowed to just bring all these boys in that he'd worked with before. And he told all these long stories. I mean, I can talk about long stories, but he told all these long stories about how he'd worked with Tyler Roberts and how he'd known Jake Clark-Salter since he was a little boy and how he'd been to Kenneth Powell's christening and all of this stuff. And then as soon as Mick Beale upped and left to Rangers, they basically just tossed it off. They didn't want to be there anymore. They'd come to play for him and compete for promotion, not fight relegation for Neil Critchley and then Gareth Ainsworth. They basically just tossed it off. So what he's trying to do with that hacker is basically looking for who's going to buy in with me. I'm going to do this ridiculous thing that's going to make you all look and feel stupid. Who's buying in and going with me and who's standing at the back sort of giggling and not having it. So, yeah, I mean, I know what he's trying to do. I'm not sure I would have filmed it and put it out on the club's official website.
No, some things are best left behind closed doors. But not behind closed doors this weekend. It's 3 p.m. kickoff. And I asked you for your expected lineup. Now, we are recording this before the Norwich game, and you are expecting to make a whole raft of changes. Before I get into your 11, is there anybody from perhaps the game tomorrow night that might play that you feel, if they perform well, or could make a good case to push into this 11 that you've selected?
One of the issues that we've got at the minute is since Eze, there really hasn't been a good product come through the academy. It would really help us out if we could have 2 or 3 players this year that were just capable of doing a dozen games. Because, like I say, we can't actually make that many signings. Sinclair Armstrong obviously came on, started at the weekend, was our best player at Watford when he came on, was our best player on Saturday. So there's one. So he'll be interesting next Saturday. I very much doubt he'll play tomorrow night. The under-18s, as opposed to our B team and academy, do actually look like they've got 1 or 2 players. So I suspect that we might see 1 or 2 of them tomorrow. There's a lad called Ryan Colley who looks a little bit like Sideshow Bob. He's been doing good stuff in the under-18s and was on the bench at the weekend, so I wonder if we might see him. Saturday, I suspect the team will be very much the team that we picked at Cardiff, except they reckon that Jack Colback might be able to play for the first time on Saturday. Whether that'll be from the bench or starting, I don't know. If he's starting, your old mate Andre Dazelle is not particularly popular at QPR at the minute. So
is he not?
I suspect it would be in place of him. And Jake Clark-Salter, the very good defender, made of porcelain, We got rid of Johan Barbe, who'd made 97 consecutive starts. We replaced him with Jake Clark-Salter, who basically can't get out of bed without hurting himself. But in theory, he is meant to be back at the weekend. So I guess he would play instead of Morgan Fox. But again, I suspect that might be the bench. The team won't be that different from the Cardiff game, I wouldn't have thought.
No, which is what you're sort of giving me here. I've put it in what the BBC put it in on their website, which is Begovic in goal, Powell, Fox, Cook, Kakai, Dazelle, Field, Dykeshire, Smith, and Armstrong at the front. So Dazelle's not popular. What about Dazelle?
Dazelle is not popular. One of that system that you've got there is basically us with the ball, without the ball.
Okay.
Kake, Cook, and Fox went into 3 centre backs, and Smith came all the way back down and played basically right. So it went to like 5 at the back without the ball.
Okay.
And Smith spent all day just going up and down there, worked so hard. He was brilliant. If it wasn't for Armstrong, he would have been man of the match. So watch out for sort of differences in and out of possession. Dazelle's not popular, probably for the same reason that a lot of Ipswich fans sort of got a bit sniffy about him. You know, I saw very well knocking the occasional diag or this attractive through ball.
Hollywood.
But you know, we're into year 3 with him. 0 goals, 1 assist. It was a nice assist, to be fair, but that was a year and a half ago at Cardiff. We reckon he's got an oil painting of the bloody thing on his wall. Like, doesn't win a tackle, doesn't score you a goal, doesn't assist, just sort of disappears out of games. Yeah, he's not the people's champion in Shepherd's Bush at the minute. So I suspect, although again there's rumours that Sam Field might be the one that we sell for some money, I suspect when Colback comes in, it may be at the expense of Dazelle.
So looking at the lineup there, where would you look to hurt Town, and then where will Town do you expect look to hurt yourselves? Where are you weak?
Oh well, we're not very good, so you might do all right. You might do all right.
I've got to
there.
Respectfully ask the question.
you might do all right there. Obviously, I watched Ipswich at Sunderland and thought you were decent and think you'll do well this season. So I think it'll be a tough game. Yeah, look, I mean, the positives from Saturday were Armstrong and Smith. They're quick, they're hardworking, they want to be here and want to play, which sets them apart from 1 or 2 notable others who've been on the bench so far or not selected. Armstrong's very dangerous. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen him play.
I haven't, no. So a little bit about him. Physical,
quick, a bit mad. Like, he's going to kill someone. So yeah, watch out for him. He's sort of star boy at the minute and everything riding on him. Dykes is obviously, just a big target man, really. Chair's a good player, although again, he's linked with a move this week. So whether he'll still be here by Saturday, I don't know. There's all this sort of stuff in flux. We were much better against Cardiff, to be fair, but we've been poor for a long time, so it's difficult to retain much faith. Bar Armstrong and Smith were slow as well. Like if you look at that team, the only players, and I think that's why he's brought Armstrong and Smith in, just to try and get some pace into the team, because it's a slow lineup if you look at that.
So in possession, that's the shape. Out of possession, you'll go to a 5.
Well, we did on Saturday. That's how it worked. Yeah, that's how it worked on Saturday. So whether he'll pick a different horse for this course, I don't know. But yeah, that's how it worked at the weekend.
Perfect. Before I let you go, Clive, and I really do appreciate your time, I'll ask all I guess this. Score prediction, please.
No, I'm not. I can't say it, can I? Because I don't fancy it. So, yeah. I think, what have we won? 1 of 15 at home now or something? Going to QPR at the moment is, turning up, having a good day in the pub and then watching the away fans have a lovely time.
We've all been there. We're under McCarthy, believe me. We were down under McCarthy.
Yeah, no, I do, yeah. I don't... Look, if we play like we did at Cardiff, then I'd be more sort of invested and interested. But yeah, at the moment, it's just difficult to fancy QPR for anything at the moment. Let's see where we are at the end of the transfer window, I guess. If we get a big sale, that might open up some chance for Gareth to build what he wants here. But yeah, at the moment, like I said, we bust everyone's coupon on Saturday. But yeah, we're a pretty handy one to have as your banker on your coupon at the minute, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm quite intrigued actually to see what QPR bring to the table on Saturday, because I think a result like Cardiff could be a springboard. It can be a base to build something from, or as you mentioned yourself earlier in the show, it could be Cardiff. I've seen the highlights of the Watford game. I've heard the news about QPR and perhaps we're a little bit lighter on them, and then obviously that result could wake other teams up and we're first up to the plate, as it were. So I'm quite intrigued to see which sort of QPR we get.
Yeah, I think we all are. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm certainly in a better mood. Honestly, if you'd had me on last week, it would have been music to kill yourself too, because I didn't even see where we were getting a single point. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where we go from here and whether that Cardiff thing was a sort of just a one-off or a springboard to hopefully better things, because it's been a long 18 months following QPR, as you can probably tell by the look on my face.
We've all been there, though, Clive. I do feel your pain. It sounds like me of several years ago. But, Clive, we do appreciate you joining us. Good luck for the rest of the season, except on Saturday, of course. And good luck for tomorrow night. Go and beat our dearest neighbours.
Yeah, we'll do our best for you, mate. No worries.
Good.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.